What's up, guys? Welcome back to the MSR workshop. So today we're going to be doing an unboxing and an install of these smart blinds. They're motorized, they're smart controlled, and I really think you guys will like them. They're from a company called SmartWings, so let's get right into it. All right, so the first part of installing these smart blinds is to remove whatever old blinds you had. Now in my case, I had two sets of blinds. I had a set of blackout shades, and then in front of it was a set of just the pull down, I guess you'd call them Venetian blinds. But I got rid of those. Next, let's go ahead and open the box that was sent to me by SmartWings. Now, SmartWings makes a bunch of different kinds of blinds. They make blackout shades, they make zebra blinds, they make mesh blinds, they make all kinds of stuff. I actually chose the blackout shades just because all of my family really likes to have their rooms really dark when they sleep. Now, when you open the box, you'll see a number of different manuals, each manual for something different. You have a quick start guide, you have a remote programming guide, you have an installation guide, so all the different guides to do all of the different important things. So this box here is your charging cable, which is really nice and long because most of the time these blinds are up high and you'll need it to reach down where you have an outlet. This part right here is the edge guards for the blinds themselves, and these are light blockers. And I actually got these, even though they're blackout shades, these little edge blockers add a little bit more light blocking capability. So unpackaging the blind was very nicely packaged in some bubble wrap, and you'll notice this strip here. This is actually for drilling your holes, and on either side of this little piece of paper it comes with adhesive, so you can just stick it up to the wall or the ceiling or wherever these blinds are going to be, and then you have an exact marking spot where you're going to drill your holes. Now, I found that the easiest way is just to go ahead and put the little brackets that come on this, which are spring-loaded, and which I'll show you just in a second, and just push them right up against the frame of your window, depending on if these are an inside mount. Now, an outside mount, you'll probably go ahead and use the provided marking tape. But for an inside mount, which these are, the easiest way is just to line them up with the frame of your window, just push them all the way back, and they should be the perfect distance. Now here you can see how they're spring-loaded, and you push in and one side just pivots out, so they're actually easy to uninstall as well in case you need to take them down for any reason, say where you clean them, or if you want to just take them down to charge them, just because they just pop out super easy. So here you'll see I am going in and screwing these up here. Sometimes you'll have a stud underneath. If you don't, it does provide you with some drywall sinkers, which is nice. Next, you have two little foam inserts, one on either side, that you'll want to pull out before you go ahead and activate your blinds, because currently the blinds are in a sleep mode. So once you get that pulled out, then you can go ahead and install your blinds. Now this is going to tell you where to wake the motor up. There's a little button there, and I'll show you that here in the picture. But just make sure it is pointed the right direction, and you're going to go ahead and tip it out so it catches on those two little spring-loaded tabs, and then just push, and it will snap right in. And you'll notice a little bit on the right side that I didn't get that one completely snapped in, but it was easy enough to go back and fix. Next, pulling out the remote. It is a very basic remote. It doesn't have tons of buttons, and that's okay. You have an up, down, as well as a stop, and it does come with batteries, so you just slide the battery case cover off, and then you just pop the batteries in, and then your remote will light up. Here is the button on the remote. You'll just go ahead and push it once, and your motor will jog up and down, and then your blinds should activate right away. The blinds do come pre-programmed for the up and down stop settings, so when you go ahead and lower these, they will stop at the predetermined distance, and as they get to the bottom, they will actually slow just a little bit. Now they may look a little wrinkled at the first time you roll them down, but as they hang, they actually get rid of any little wrinkles. Now here I'm installing that light blocker, and you actually just put it all the way up against the frame of your window, lining that up, and that kind of gives it a little track to ride in. and blocks out any of that little bit of light that may come out on the edges. Just because they are a little bit narrower than your actual window internals, just because of the motor and all of that. And here you can see it rolling up on my other window that I installed this in. Works very, very well, very, very smooth. Close the bedroom blinds. All right, guys, let's talk about these blinds. I really, really like how easy they were to install. Now, they do have a little quirk with the programs that is used to make them a smart. Now, when you order them, there is multiple different configurations that you can do for your smart home devices. There is one that does not have any at all if you want the most simple operation possible. It comes with a pre-programmed remote. You will have to do nothing other than doing the quick install like I showed you in the video. The next one is you can get it for an Alexa device, and that's what I thought I ordered when I ordered these, but they actually turned up with the Zigbee motor. Now, with the Zigbee motor, you do have to buy a little compatible hub if you want it to talk to your Alexa device, and I believe your Google devices. Don't quote me on that, but I'll make sure to leave it in below if it is wrong. And there is a couple other devices that you can connect it to as well, and motor configurations. Now with the Zigbee device, you do use that little hub, which I'll leave a link to purchase if you need one of those for your smart blinds. Now the Zigbee app was just a little bit confusing, and I did have to do some switching around. But what I found is once you get hooked up to that, you can go to your Alexa device and you actually can create a group. Now you would want to name these specifically for your room. Now this one being the master bedroom, I just called it bedroom. My kids' room, I used their name in the device. So my instance, Grant is my son. I used Grant's blinds, and then I can say open them. Now if you want to close all of the blinds in your house or open all the blinds, you would just create a group of all the devices, and then you would just name it whatever you want to close your whole house or open your whole house. But very, very easy to configure, very, very smooth. I really like them. And a neat feature that I found, which I did not program, is I can ask it to open it halfway. Open the bedroom blinds halfway. And my blinds will open to the halfway mark. Now this is great if you have a, say, outside window that faces the street or something. You don't want to have your blinds all the way completely open so people can look into your house, but you'd still like to let a bit of natural light in. Now there are different types of blinds that you can order. The original blinds that were up here before I installed these were the zebra ones, where they have the dark and light shades that pass over each other, so you can stop them at different places to allow different levels of light in. But when you go and order them, you can look at the amount of light that lets in. Now these are completely blackout blinds, which means it allows no light in once they're closed. And that I find is better for me when I'm sleeping. And I also ordered it with the optional light blockers. Now these are tracks that fit on the edge, that they're easily stuck down to your wall. I actually put a little bit of screw in there just to make sure that the stickum doesn't come off and, you know, fall off middle of the night and scare me to death. But they actually even more block out the light on the edges because, you know, these don't fit perfectly flush up against your window, and there's just a tiny gap on the edges, but you don't have to order them if you don't want. Now there is ones that let in 70% light. There's ones that are just sheer if you want a soft light to come through and they're not completely dark. But there are multiple options with these blinds. I highly, highly encourage you to check out the SmartWings blinds systems, and I will leave a link in the description below. If you use my link, it does help me out and the channel out a little bit. But I want to thank the SmartWings blinds company for sending these out to me for review. I had really been looking at them actually on my own before they reached out to me, but I can't wait to do more blinds in my house where I have all of them set up on a timer. When I wake up in the morning, I can, you know, just count on them opening and closing for me. Until next time, guys, thanks again.